Hello and welcome to this video. One part of business that everyone wants to avoid is that problem of not being paid by your customer. So we're going to have a little explore of how QuickBooks can help you and what to do, unfortunately, if they aren't going to pay. Stay tuned to the end where we're going to show you exactly what to do if you don't receive any payment. Let's have a look.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me.
Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick. I'm a chartered accountant, certified UK trainer from Intuit, and also that QuickBooks chat. Now, one of the reasons we all go into business is so that we can generate income and get paid for work that we do. When it comes to being paid, there's normally two camps. Either you've already provided the item and they've already paid for it, so you have no need to sell and you don't actually provide your item or service until you've actually been paid. Or, and what this video is particularly about, is when you provide a service for someone, invoice them later and then expect them to pay on the due date. Now that can be really, really worrying. Now for most small businesses, that whole due date, making sure you get paid, chasing overdue can be a real pain, and it can be something that makes small businesses very anxious. Thankfully though, QuickBooks has some tricks up its sleeve to make that process a whole lot easier. But at the end of this video, we will show you what to do if you do have outstanding debtors that you need to write off as what we would call a bad debt. So let's have a look straight into it and let's try and figure out exactly how to make sure we get paid for the work that we do. Let's have a look. Okay, first of all, let's get ourselves into QuickBooks. Now, one of the nice things about QuickBooks is as soon as we get into it, you'll notice that as I scroll down on our dashboard is a whole area letting us know what's been paid and what's still overdue. So in my case, I've got this big, large amount that's due very, very soon. And I've got this amount here that's overdue. So straight away, alarm bells are ringing. What I can do with QuickBooks though is I can click into the transaction directly from this page and it's going to take me directly to where I need to be. From here, I have a load of tools at my disposal, so let's make sure I can make payment. First one is let's make sure we make it really easy for our client to pay us. So if I click into anything that's still overdue, when you send the invoice out originally, you get two options for payments integrated directly in QuickBooks. The first one is a Pay Now button, which means when you send your invoice out, your invoice is actually going to have a big Pay Now button on the invoice itself that your customer can click on and make payment directly there. It's all ran through PayPal, so you need to make sure you have a PayPal account, but you do get preferential rates when you use this solution. Best of all, because it's integrated so deeply within QuickBooks, when your customer makes payment, it'll automatically be reflected in your QuickBooks account to show that that has been paid. And then when it hits the bank account, it'll be nice and easy for you to reconcile that accordingly. So that's the Pay Now button. The next one is this Set Up Direct Debit. Now the idea here is we can make it really easy for you to make sure you get paid. And it really is straightforward. Using a solution called Go Cardless, when it's all set up correctly, you have the ability to be able to send an invoice from QuickBooks. QuickBooks tells Go Cardless collects the money on your behalf from the client, and then that money is then shown as paid in QuickBooks. Again, when it hits the bank account, because it's nicely integrated, it will then reconcile beautifully for you. So there's your best way of being able to make sure that you can get your paid. Have your client go and sign up as a Go Cardless. Let's see exactly how that works. So clicking on this button here opens up the Go Cardless page, and on here will tell you exactly how to set it up. Now there's a video here, there's a little introduction of how to do it. If this is something that you think is going to be really useful, make sure to like this video and comment below if that is something that you'll find useful for your business. But at Boffix, we rely heavily on the Go Cardless integration. The idea that as soon as a client signs up, we ask them to sign up to Go Cardless or our direct debit payment solution. Once they've selected that, then that means from our point of view, all we need to do is regenerate an invoice each and every month. So we set it to recurring. And then that means we can ask Go Cardless or ask QuickBooks in integration with Go Cardless to send an invoice out, automatically get paid, and that money comes into our bank account, saving us a huge amount of time in administration and also gives us confidence that that payment is going to be made. Let's have a look. As soon as you've set that go cardless situation up, it's all about then you'll have 2 boxes here to tick. Once you tick those boxes, you'll then have the ability to send it out with a payment or send it out with go cardless. Either way, it's going to make your life so much easier. So that's looking at how to make it easier for your clients to pay. But what about if you've made it really easy for them, but they've just not paid at this point? What options do we have? Well, first of all, for us to look at any of these transactions in more detail, I click on the transaction and I get this really useful element on the side here. And as you can see, here it's when I raised the invoice, when I sent the invoice, and if it's been viewed, paid or deposited. So this area is going to give us a lot of information. Let's look into some details here. So on the first one that's overdue, if I click into it, notice how it's not even been sent. We've opened it, we've created the invoice effectively, but we've never sent it. So this one's on us. Now we know that we've not actually sent the invoice, so how was our client ever going to see it? For us to send it though, we can use the More Action button and we can send it directly from here. It's going to go through the same process we normally have to send, and I can just press send. On the other invoice that's outstanding, however, if I click into it, on the other invoice, however, let's see what's happened on that one. We've already sent this invoice over, but you'll notice it's not been viewed yet. So we did the right thing by sending the invoice, we just haven't had the client view it. So that could be something that's worthwhile considering. Now, what can QuickBooks do to help us? Well, the first thing is we can send a reminder really quickly. So we click into a transaction, notice it's been sent, more options, send reminder. And then it's going to say that that's been sent over. Let's press send. So we've sent a reminder. If I click into it, you can then see how that has been gone. So in this case, we've had that actual viewed now, so we can see that that process is going. What QuickBooks will soon be able to do for you as well is send automatic reminders. So that's a feature that's coming soon into QuickBooks, but the idea is it's going to give us the opportunity to set an option so it automatically gets sent, and that's going to be something really useful to look out for. Just note though, there are some times where this can cause some issues, or sometimes when your overdue invoice is a problem. So before you do start sending reminders or checking, so what I would recommend is before you do start sending reminders, especially if you're using automated reminders, is just make sure everything is in order. For example, let's have a look at this client. Now, always be mindful of deposits that haven't been allocated against actual payments. So in this case, the client's paid us £4,000 at this date, but what we haven't done is allocate it against these two. So if we do send out reminders at this point, then technically we're going to be asking for too much. To allocate these, find the one that you want it relate to. So in this case, £4,000, I want it related to this 4,800. I press receive payment, making sure that that's set to nil because we don't actually have any payment or money to put through. And then I'm going to allocate the £4,000 against the £4,000 that's there, meaning that I have a zero amount filed and received. So that's what I want. That's what my intention is going to be. And my deposit to, just to be safe, I'm going to put cash on hand so there's no issues with reconciliation because I don't want a zero appearing in that account. At that point then, I've got zero amount received, £4,000 against that one, 4,000 there, save and close. Now, when I go to send a reminder and press send, they're only now being requested for £800 and not the full 4,800. So do make sure you do due diligence, do make sure that you've got your customer account exactly spot on before you send it. Okay, so QuickBooks can help pretty well in this situation. You can set automatic reminders later down the line. You can remind people quite easily from QuickBooks. And also you've got the ability to be able to make it really easy for your customer to pay. I'm using that Pay Now button, or by using that Go Cardless solution, which is effectively a direct debit solution. So that's really useful, and that's going to help us massively in terms of making sure that we get our payments into QuickBooks and, more importantly, get paid from our customers. But what if you find a customer that just simply can't pay, and you're going to have a position where you've got to write off, or what we would call create a bad debt for that solution? Let's have a look and see what options we have. Now, if I go back to here, imagine that there is definitely going to be an opportunity for us to recoup this £800. So I need to leave that £800 still left over. but it looks like, and more increasingly, I'm not going to get paid for this £2,640. Well, I have two options. The first one is I can use the action button, void or delete. The big problem with that is you've got to be careful, especially if you're VAT registered, that if you've sent that invoice out, then technically that invoice now is live and now is something that needs to be dealt with. So I would only ever use those void and delete options if you've never sent the invoice out, if the client has no idea that invoice even exists. Most of the time it's because you've made a mistake. The other option is, though, we need to create a bad debt, and that's what we're going to go through now. So what is a bad debt? A bad debt is basically something that you're saying you're unlikely to receive the money. Therefore, you're going to reduce the amount in your books and you're going to reduce the amount that needs to be paid over. So what I'm going to do is do new transaction, credit note. New transaction, credit note. I'm going to make sure I'm on Aaron Patrick as my customer. I'm going to put a credit note date as whenever I've decided to raise that invoice or raise the bad debt. Be mindful of any VAT quarters here. So sometimes it's worthwhile making sure it's in the VAT quarter that you're next doing. And product and service, I've already created one, but it's called bad debt. Now let's try and create a second one. So when I create a bad debt, it's going to come up and ask me what type it is. I'm always going to choose service. My bad debt example is a name, but you will call it something like bad debt. But the most important and critical part is this bit here, your income account. You don't want it against sales, but you want to create a brand new expense called bad debt. And that bad debt you just have to create. So again, let's do another example. You would create, I would put it against other expense, bad debt example, save and close. Because you need this to be an expense. You can't have it as a negative sale because that will net off your sales. You need to show that you've got an expense as a bad debt because it's sales that you're not going to get. Okay, I've got my bad debt example. I'm going to put my amount in, 2640. Pro tip here is to use the inclusive of tax option, 2640. If you have got VAT, you want to add the VAT back. Now, you will just follow suit. If you've had 20% on all of it, you'd put 20% against bad debt. If you've got a split, then you might need to have multiple line items so that you can split accordingly. But effectively, using the inclusive of tax option means you put the amount in that you need to write off and it's going to work back the VAT for you. Save and close. Okay, so once you've done the bad debt, your next step is to allocate it accordingly. So we look down here, we've got that this invoice is still shown as overdue. So it still has the option to receive payment. I click on receive payment, same as we did before. We're going to make sure our amount is always zero. Go to our cash account to be safe. We're going to do 2,600, but we're not going to receive it via money. We're going to put it, make sure the credit note or the bad debt is associated, and then we press save and close. And there you have it, that's been written off. Now, sometimes QuickBooks will do this automatically, so do make sure in your accounts and settings, under advanced automation, that your apply credits has either been turned off or on if you want it to do it, but just bear in mind that if you've got it switched on, sometimes it might allocate incorrectly. And there you have it. A quick look at how to make sure QuickBooks can help you make sure all your clients and customers are paid and how to make sure they are allocated correctly. And then unfortunately, the bad news is if they don't pay you, how to at least raise a bad debt. How does that bad debt look on your P&L? Let's have a quick look. So from a P&L point of view, we've got at the top here, we've got the sales being made. And then down here under bad debt example, 2,200 being shown as an expense. The income will be included in this area here. If I just click into it, 2,200. So effectively, I've got income at the top of 2,200. And then down here, I've got an expense of 2,200, meaning we've got zero profit, which is what we wanted to show. Now, if I take one more look at my dashboard, you'll see that now we've got a much cleaner breakdown. We've got that £800, which we know the client's going to pay. What I tend to do for reminding myself about these payment arrangements is I jump into the customer, and at the top here you've got an option to add notes. So I'm going to say £800 due end of March 2021. Chase if not received. And now I've got a nice little note there telling me that that's been chased for. And again, if I need to chase for it, I can just use the option here, send reminder, and then it'll only send for that £800. But there we have it, a look into customers in QuickBooks and how to make sure that you make it easy on yourself and your customers to make payments and to write them off as bad debts if needed. Hopefully that's answered all your questions. If you do have any more questions, don't forget we've got the question box below, the comment box below. Make sure you let us know if there's anything else you want covered on this channel. Let me know below, is there any other ways in which you've been making sure people are paying you and paying you on time? Let the people know below, let me know below, and we can use that as a separate topic going forward. And that's it. My name has been Aaron Patrick. If you like what you've seen today, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This is the one-stop place to make sure you get all your QuickBooks know-how and making sure that you're using QuickBooks properly and making sure that you and your business goes further. My name is Aaron Patrick. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure to do this video for you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark, when it's dark. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. All the way that I feel, yeah, I know that it's real, cause I can get him out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new. Even if we stay in bed, my heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want him, nah, 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 nah. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah.
Hello and thank you for watching that video. What you may not know is this channel that you've watched this video from is part of a wider group. That wider group is called AppleCore Production, and the 3 channels that we have involved are as follows: Aaron Patrick the QuickBooks Chat, Boffick's Tax Tip. Finally, we have AppleCore Live and Geeky. All the links and everything are down below in the description, but it really means a lot to us if you can go and give a like to the other channels as well.